Hello, YouTube. It's Shelter the Story. We're going to watch another Muujin video. Because if there's one thing I want to react to, it's drama. And this one is... There's Nijisanji drama. I don't know. Grab your snackies, grab your bevies. Let me know what you're eating or drinking down below. Let's get to watching.
Well guys, I say it every time. At this point, it's a catchphrase, but Nijisanji, otherwise known as Any Color, their parent company, is truly the gift that keeps on giving.
Is it giving? I don't think it is. I don't think giving is necessarily what they're doing. I mean, look at this. They keep just... I mean, they're still like, are they still like top three? One of the top three companies? Because when I think about like VTuber companies, it's like Hololive and Cover Corp, Nijisanji and like Any Color, and then like VShoujo, right? Is that still true?
The downfall of this company ever since the beginning of the
Face Connect? Not Face Connect. Maybe I'm just not involved enough.
This year has been unprecedented. It's hard to believe that back in June 2022, Any Color used to be worth $1.2 billion. Yes, you heard that right. Billion, 1.2 billion. And yes, we're talking about a VTuber corporation. It's crazy. But the company has since then lost more than half of their entire value. And what's even worse for investors is that there is zero hope for it.
I guess they do keep giving L's, huh? I guess they are giving in that direction.
Recovery. The downfall of Nijisanji started in the beginning of 2024, back around February, when it turned out that one of their beloved talents tried to evaporate her soul out of her body, if you get what I mean. Mainly due to the very toxic work culture at Nijisanji. This was a very big shock because prior to this, Nijisanji was seen as one of the top VTubing agencies on the planet. No one saw.
Bruh, I wanted to... I made Korobukia. I went to like a big like anime store off the main street of Akihabara the last time I was in Japan, and they had a whole section, like VTuber section, and it was like almost entirely Nijisanji, and it was like a pretty big section of that store, and it was like they had I was like, this is overwhelming, the amount of characters they are, like VTubers, I guess they have, like, it is overwhelming. I'm like, they had over 50 in this one section of this one store, and this wasn't like the English branch either, because they have like an English branch, right? It was their Japanese only, and then there were like a lot of it was like keychains, like little like acrylics and stuff like that. And there was like two guys that had like actual figures, like scale figures. And I was like, who are these guys? And then like I looked them up, and it was like, oh, they were part of this group within Nijisanji, but then that group dissolved, but they were really popular, so they got put into this other thing with like Niji. So they still stream. They're still streamers. They're all this, and I'm just like, this is overwhelming. Like, I have no idea what's happening.
Saw this coming. It didn't take long for us to see how toxic they were internally, though, because instead of apologizing, Nijisanji put up some of their top VTubers to do a black screen stream, pretty much blaming the VTuber who almost lost their life and getting massive hate for it. This was truly the beginning of the end for Nijisanji, and they have screwed up so many times throughout this year that I had to create a playlist full of videos of them doing dumb shit. But even with all that, we've never truly reached a point like the one we found ourselves in today. A VTuber currently working for Nijisanji decided to reach out to FalseEyeD in order to leak the fact that there's currently a predator within Nijisanji's ranks.
Is this not the news, dude? Is it news? Doesn't he talk about the news? Am I wrong? Y'all can absolutely like complain about my lack of knowing anything in the comments. FalseEyeD is a VTuber news guy. Yes, I was right. All right. I was like, that looks familiar, but also not. Is this like a newer model of his? To be fair, I don't watch him a whole lot. I've just seen clips of him. But like, does he always look like that? Did he get a different model at some point? Like, I'm gonna be obnoxious. What's up, guys? We know it's me. We know.
And that they are covering for him. There are many victims here, both inside and outside of Nijisanji, and the stakes have never been higher. We need to talk about this, so let's do it. But first, a quick sponsor. Ever wondered what would happen if we combined the amazing art style in League of Legends with an old school MMO game? Well, no need to wonder anymore, because that's what Corp is all about. With many classes and different subclasses at your disposal, you can make the character that suits your playstyle the best. This is a fully voiced 18+ game that has no...
To be honest with you, something slight pet peeve of mine personally, and it's not important. I don't like it when games, specifically MMOs, require you to move your character by clicking your mouse. I would rather you use WASD or whatever. WASD? I would rather use like the WASD. I don't like the clicking the mouse because I like click it 20 billion times and it just bothers me.
Hand-holding. If you've played any MMOs or MOBAs before, you will feel right at home. You will have a lot of progression ahead of you in terms of leveling up your talents and your weapon masteries. There are also many professions such as alchemy. And let's not forget the amazing mounts and pets that you can earn through gameplay. So you'll be busy. Look, if you're interested in a massive game ran by an independent studio, click the link in the description or the pinned comment to pre-order the game and be able to play today in early access. Thank you so much, Artificial Core, for sponsoring this video. So Aster Arcadia.
Okay, excuse me. Thank you.
Independent studio. Click the link in the description.
Ass, titties, ass, and
description or the pinned comment to pre-order the game and be able to play today in early access. Thank you so much, Artificial Core, for sponsoring this video. So Aster Arcadia is a male VTuber that's part of Nijisanji's English branch. Nijisanji will introduce new VTubers in waves, and Aster was part of the iLuna wave alongside 5 other VTubers. They debuted in summer 2022. Back in February of 2024, as the disaster surrounding Selen was happening, Raziel Warmonic, who used to be a moderator of Luca Kaneshiro, a massive Nijisanji English VTuber, put out a tweet saying not to add fuel to the fire, but since I was close to a member of Nijisanji for a long time, I am absolutely not surprised it's starting to crumble. I was vented to about a male member from iLuna, sorry I can't remember which, this was a voice convo from over a year ago, that was harassing and guilt-tripping new girls to the point that other members would go quiet or exclude them from their voice chats. Yet management apparently did nothing and the members themselves had to self-regulate.
It really feels like Nijisanji's like, we've got so many talent and y'all just figure it out. Like that really feels like what Nijisanji is. And, you know, going on VTuber Twitter, right? Like, there's like constantly these little groups popping up, like people making little VTuber groups and like however you want to call them. I don't know. I'm not part of one. So, and then like you just kind of let it, like they exist for a while, right? Like the idea is they're going to collab together or do stuff together or whatever. And then like a few months, a year later, something, there's like a big blow up because someone left and they left because of similar shit, or like they left because it was like not a good experience, or like everybody decided like they don't like each other and the whole thing crumbled. So like you get a big group of people together and you're like, hey, work together. There's gonna be drama a lot. Like I feel, you know, I start one called The Destruction and I just watch everybody like fall apart because like, oh my God. I'm not going to be like, here, let me regulate this. I'm just going to be like, yeah, I mean, it's called The Destruction. I don't know what you expected.
She then added, I just got confirmation from another individual. It was Aster. I will not name who told me this. No more witch hunts. There were 3 male members in iLuna, and she had confirmed that she was talking specifically about Aster. Nijisanji was already under a lot of fire. This was definitely fuel to the fire. A day later on 4chan, DMs between
Gravity, hello.
Aster and Scarla leaked. Scarla is another well-known VTuber, also part of the...
Can I be honest? I like this lady. Look at her. She looks nice. I like her design.
Luna wave, debuting with Aster. This conversation was painful and awkward to read. Aster was bickering about voice chat etiquette, and Scarla did not know how to respond except for saying sorry repeatedly. Saying, Aster, I'm sorry. I'm just overwhelmed by everything. I'm sorry I hurt you. I'm sorry I forget everything. I'm just overwhelmed by the messages. I don't know what to say to you. That's why I didn't respond right away. I'm not ignoring you. I just don't know what to say. I'm sorry. There was also another conversation in which she says, I'm sorry, Aster. I keep making you feel this way, with him replying, I mean, is that it? Like, what else do you want, man? She's apologizing. And then
sorry, I was shouting out Gravity Wolf. What happened?
hurt you. I'm sorry repeatedly. Saying Aster and was painful and awkward to read. Aster was bickering about voice chat etiquette, and Scarla did not know how to respond except for saying sorry repeatedly.
Hold on. Okay. Why are you even hurt? I said that whenever we're in voice chat, okay, the attention is then shifted to whoever joins. Same process happens where the same question is said, how was your guys' day? Someone answers before me and the attention is set on them. Conversation keeps going. I don't want to interrupt. You tell me I'm too silent. Would you rather me constantly make random noises or cut people off and say something? I will give. I'm not giving him points. I will say that is an issue I have as well. Where like sometimes it's hard to take space. And it's like, well, you have to interrupt people when there's like a big group, right? Like a lot of times, I feel. But like, oh, okay. If you're hurt that I told you that, you'll probably forget this. I mean, am I wrong? You told me you forgot what was even said last night. That's definitely not making me feel any more better, is the sheer fact that you purposely are ignoring me because you don't know what to say. What?
Saying, Aster, I'm sorry. I'm just overwhelmed by everything. I'm sorry I hurt you. I'm sorry I forget everything. I'm just overwhelmed by the messages. I don't know what to say to you. That's why I didn't respond right away. I'm not ignoring you. I just don't know what to say. I'm sorry. There was also another conversation in which she says, I'm sorry, Aster. I keep making you feel this way, with him replying, I mean, is that it?
Am I supposed to be like, oh, no problem, and just go about my day? I want you to legitimately understand how I'm feeling and me hoping for some form of change. But if that's not the case, I shouldn't have even said anything in the first place. Maybe I should just treat all of this as a job and not connect with anyone, because why bother, right? Buddy, why are you in this company, in this group? Like, you... Okay. Like, why are you here? Why are you trying to do stuff with other people? You can't blame other people because when you're in a group, you're not loud enough. You need to curate your group to where, like, everyone is kind of similar. You need to make space for yourself. That is not everybody else's responsibility. That's not her responsibility to make space for you. She is also a talent. She's also trying to shine. Like, she's also, trying to get that money, right? She's trying to be successful. It's not her job to make you successful. Why are you in this group? Like, you getting mad because, like, what? People aren't hand-holding you? That's not what their job is. Their job isn't to make you shine. You got to make yourself shine. Your manager's job is to help you shine. She ain't your manager. She's like your fellow groupie. What the bruh.
Like, what else do you want, man? She's apologizing. And then within the span of 30 minutes, he kept pushing over and over and over, not...
Am I not going to get a response to this? You would have had to take me to HR. Like, I just... Okay. So now I'm being ignored for saying how I feel. I'll be sure not to be too personal again and just not tell you or anyone what's bothering me. I'm here, I'm available, but don't tell me to respond when you don't respond back, please. Seriously, LOL. So you're purposely ignoring me. Bro! Oh my God. I'm sorry, am I your therapist? You think I don't got stuff going on? I already told you I don't know how to respond. I already apologized to you multiple times. It's not my job to make space for you just because you feel ignored, like you're not in the spotlight. Sounds like a you problem that you need to work on because you're now a big company VTuber. You're a corpo VTuber at a big company. You need to figure out how to shine and make space for yourself. Like, I'm sorry. I'm actually not sorry. That's your deal. It's like you're an idol. You're in like a talent agency, kind of like you're an idol, right? Like you need to make your own. Hold on, I gotta hydrate. You gotta make your own space, guy. Not my job, your fellow talent, to make space for you. Oh my God.
Getting a reply and saying, seriously, so you're purposefully ignoring me? It was clear that this DM leak was trying to make him look bad, right? Because all Scarlet was doing was apologize and he wasn't letting it go. It was certainly matching the description.
Also, I'm laugh. It's the sigh. The sigh. Look, my intention isn't even to hurt you. Why would I? My intention is to let you know what has been bothering me, which is the whole voice. Yeah, just like the italicized sigh. Like, come on, man.
Raziel had provided about Aster, guilt-tripping new girls and even harassing them. Knowing that this was 4chan though, many people were concerned that these were just fake. I mean, who's gonna leak this? Scarla? That would be an easy way for her to get fired. And Aster?
Did he do
why would
it?
he make himself look bad? But then something weird happened. On the same day those 4chan messages leaked, both Aster and Scarla posted matching hearts at the same exact timestamp. Right after this, they proceeded to stream together, completely unprompted, right? Typically, they post weekly schedules telling their viewers what they're going to do on their channels. This was not announced. This had happened all of a sudden on the same day. This made some people suspicious. Like, why would you go this far to do all these things right after the messages leaked on 4chan? Are you trying to hide something? Did Nijisanji put you up to this to try and hide the fact that you guys have a terrible relationship? It smelled fishy, but there was not enough proof to really conclude anything, so people moved on. That was, of course, until April 2024, when Raziel, who was Luca Kaneshiro's ex-mod, posted a 58-page document detailing her experience with him and how he was entitled, exploitative, and abusive towards her, as well as other members within Nijisanji. This is where, on page 55...
Okay, what does this document exist? More information such as the Nijisanji contract has come out along with another individual in the know confessing to me that Luca has allegedly harassed others inside of Nijisanji. I believe it is my responsibility to bring light to his problematic behavior and patterns of abuse as both Java and Luca for those who may be in a precarious situation which do not allow them to speak or act. This is also to touch upon the internal issues of any color's management of their talents. Any documents are simply meant to prove the credibility of my story and that I was deeply involved with Luca. While some may be asking why I didn't do this sooner, I'll be completely honest, no one cared. I am to this day harassed and sent death threats by Luca's fan base. They actively suppress, lie, and spread vicious rumors to try and discredit me. I would get anonymous death threats in my Marshmallow and from stock puppet Twitter accounts. I don't know what Marshmallow is, but okay. So I gave up for a long time. 100%. I know I'm not like a big VTuber or anything. Y'all don't do this shit. Like what the fuck? What the fuck? Don't do this. That's crazy. I've been streaming on Twitch since 2014 and have been a Twitch partner since July 2015. I worked as a community manager in a major gambling publisher, gaming, Jesus, publisher for a couple of years before I got laid off and started working on one of the top global Hollywood agencies as a social media consultant for outside organizations and our own influencers, streamers, /YouTube. This is all to say I know a bit about streaming, social media, marketing, PR at the very least, and how it should look from the inside. When Java and I met, I was known as Raziel Wormonic up until he became Luca, and I made a new alias, Mizuchi. To help distance myself from our extensive past together under the advice of another Nijisanji liver. After losing contact with Luca, I decided it would be the healthiest decision if I abandoned the Mizuchi pseudonym and went back to my original alias of Raziel. Jabbing off while extremely close, never dated, and we never met up IRL. He was 18 and I was 24 when we first came in contact with each other. Okay. VTuber drama can be very complicated because one is it's like a popularity contest, so you know there's drama, but also like they all have multiple aliases. Because like when they go corpo, they have to drop their previous alias, like their previous names and identities and stuff, and they adopt a new one, and then sometimes they leave that one and go back to their old one, and it's like it's like reading a freaking, for me, it's like reading Danmei, right? Or like reading like a Chinese light novel where it's like everyone, like especially the wuxia one where everyone's got like 3 freaking names and you got to memorize everybody's different names because they have like their birth name, their like, what is it called? They get another name when they turn a certain age. That like everyone that's not super close to them, like a more formal name. And then they have like titles and like all this other stuff. It's a lot. Okay. So that's what it kind of feels like. 'Cause you're reading like a wuxia novel.
Towards her, as well as other members within Nijisanji. This is where on page 55, she would include this bombshell under allegations. Here's what she had to say. Aster Arcadia harassing other coworkers. I can confirm that Luca Kaneshiro said that multiple girls were coming to him about the issue since management wouldn't do anything, and he discussed it with both Illyra and I. Illyra being Illyra Pandora, another Nijisanji English VTuber.
Okay.
She then continues. I personally told him to gather as much evidence as possible and bring it to management since it shouldn't be there, Luca's and Illyra's job, to regulate this issue. To my understanding, nothing was done about it.
I hate to say this really feels like a corporate issue entirely. Like it's not, when I say corporate, I don't mean like, oh, corporate VTubers. I mean like the purpose of HR in any company is to keep the company from getting sued. They're not your friend. Don't think they're your friend. They're not your friends. They do not have your best interest in mind. Not really. Like you could be friends with them and you can be like, oh, they have my best. Their job is to keep the company from getting sued. 100%. That is what their job is. Okay. So like you hear stories about this all the time as I listen to Reddit stuff a lot. Where like, oh, I took this to HR and nothing was done until a lawsuit was pending or until a lawsuit was mentioned or until a lawyer was involved, because their entire thing is to not get sued, right? So sometimes they're just like, oh, just brush it under the rug, right? Or like, oh, it's not that big a deal, or oh, this requires an investigation, and like it's just a lot, and it's only one person, and it's hard to prove, and like I can't even fault it because sometimes it can be very hard to prove, right? But like, I'm not surprised. Nothing was done. I hate to say that, but...
She also showed a message that was sent to her by a Nijisanji English VTuber saying, to help you with clarity, I remember that incident, it was Aster. This was back during February 7th when Raziel had tweeted about the fact that someone from Iluna was harassing and guilt-tripping new girls. When she said, I just got confirmation from another individual that it was Aster, she was referring to that VTuber who had DM'd her on...
Hello? Why did that happen? Sorry, I hit a button because I sneezed.
Twitter. This, of course, was a very serious accusation, but people were mostly focused on Luca Kaneshiro being a weirdo in these 58 pages rather than really pursuing this. Because other than this random Twitter DM, we didn't really have...
I also received a message from the same Nijisanji library about Luca harassing other inside the... Luca has done a lot of bad things, not just you, so thank you for sharing your experience.
Okay. Concrete proof. And besides, people were more interested with how Luca beat his meat in VR chat without Raziel's consent anyway. I mean, the shock value from that alone was crazy. It made people slowly forget about the Aster allegations. However, that all changed just a few days ago on December 6th, 2024. That was the day that FalseEyeD had published this video titled Exclusive. Nijisanji English VTuber speaks out against Nijisanji English Liver. He had done something unprecedented. A Nijisanji VTuber had reached out to him from within the company to tell him that yes, Aster Arcadia is a serial harasser. This was the same Nijisanji English VTuber who had messaged Raziel and told her, I remember that incident, it was Aster. Also sharing some never-before-seen DMs she had sent Raziel, like, a lot of people waited for you to tell the truth for a while because it had been an issue, so I'm happy you finally did. Do not worry about those that are sending hate. This truth in the long run will help so many people. He then shared messages of that Nijisanji English VTuber venting back in September about Aster.
When I had a mental breakdown and when Twitch, it was because Aster was saying, like, he wants to fly me out to Japan, saying weird sexual shit. Sex pesting? My friends. And I went to management. They wouldn't even speak to him. I was really considering graduating. So, like, Nijisanji is never gonna get past the, like, it's a black company allegations. Like, they're never gonna, like, disprove black company allegations is what I feel.
Aster's behavior, saying, when I had a mental breakdown and went to Twitch, it was because Aster was saying, like, he wants to fly me out to Japan, saying weird sexual shit, sex pesting my friends. I went to management, they wouldn't even speak to him. I was really considering graduating. They were really considering leaving the company over this, but their manager talked them out of it. They then said, because it feels gross to me, like I feel like I'm hiding his behavior because it's not just me, it's many, many girls, a lot of my friends. Also adding that Nijisanji was too scared to take any action because they didn't want more bad PR after everything that had happened this year. The name of this Nijisanji VTuber, who is a victim of Aster Arcadia, wasn't revealed in this video. Now obviously there were people doubting the source of information, saying why would you want to censor the name? Revealing it would add so much more weight to these accusations. But in order to understand that, we have to, yet again, go back to 4chan. A little while ago,
okay. It feels like okay. The amount of times somebody gets famous and then turns out to be a shit person that, like, sexually harasses people. Like, you know, like, how does Nijisanji pick his talent, I guess? Because I'm not saying this is a Nijisanji, like, specific problem. And it's not just a Niji specific problem. It is a problem that we have seen in a lot of different spaces, like across the board. Like, someone gets famous. Chelsea just got famous. Yeah, but I don't talk to people. This is fine. But, like, you know, like, just like, oh, let's do online stuff. Like no. You know, I've noticed that trend completely. And, like, it bums me out because, like, sometimes, like, these people already have, like, significant others or families or whatever that they're cheating on with, like, these, because they have, like, oh, I have fans now, and, like, these fans want to I can get with these fans, and I'm just like, oh gosh, no, with how they, like, I'm not saying you can't have a relationship. I mean, look at Oda, right? Like, One Piece Oda, right? Like, his wife was like a Nami cosplayer. Good for them. I'm not saying that. I'm saying specifically, like, the harassment, the creepiness, the, like power dynamics that are at play here, the, like, I don't know. And then, like, this stuff where it's like this dude's just, like, harassing people and just getting away with it, and, like, you know, being inappropriate and just getting away with it. I'm like, why? I don't. Why do so many people do this? You get bored because it's easy when you're famous. Narcissism from hero worship and just the power trip of I'm doing it because I can. I immature horniness. I'm just like, what? Like, and, like I don't get it.
Bunch of different messages leaked on 4chan between that one Nijisanji English VTuber who had reached out to FalseEyeD and a handful of their friends. Some of these messages were from that VTuber stream chat.
Get this for you.
Thank you for the gifted sub, SJMCC. Appreciate you.
But the majority were from Discord DMs. There were some morbid revelations, like how this VTuber was straight up in debt because Nijisanji had withdrawn all the VTuber model costs and the equipment costs from their salary. So after a long time being there, they still have not gotten a proper salary, barely affording to eat. Truly an incredible company to work at. But what these logs allow—
once again, they are not beating the black company allegations. Like, hey, you can come work for us, but we're going to give you these really expensive VTuber models and like art and stuff like that, but we're going to take it out of your pay. You're going to start work with us in debt and you're going to stay in debt for a while. Like, bro, like, oh my God.
Allow us to do is to cross-reference the messages shown in FalseEyeD's video to the messages here. For example, if we take the message he wants to fly me out to Japan, we find it right here following the same timestamp that was shown in the Discord logs in FalseEyeD's video. I have no idea who leaked this, but these logs paint a very dark picture about the worries this VTuber had of even revealing this information to the public. Look, the topic of Aster came up multiple times in these conversations, and at some point, one of the friends of this Nijisanji English VTuber wanted them to expose the harassment that they had endured from Aster to the public. They expressed shock when the VTuber was reluctant, saying, "I thought they don't fucking fire people? Like I was under the impression it literally can't happen." With the Nijisanji VTuber then saying, "If you do something bad enough." The friend said, "But you are unironically a victim. Fuck them, you did nothing wrong at all. Why are we even scared? They treat you like shit. Some creep harasses you. You get fired? ? Make that make sense." With the VTuber saying, "That's why it's 50-50. They either ignore it or fire me." So this Nijisanji English VTuber actually loves being a VTuber and they don't want to get fired. They had to quit their IRL job for this and they don't have anything else they can do at the moment. If FalseEyeD had irresponsibly leaked their name, their identity, then Nijisanji would have terminated them, well, immediately, and Aster would have gotten away with it anyway. It's counterproductive, and this is why I won't leak it either. So look, even with the VTuber wanting to keep their job, the friends of the VTuber were seeing this injustice unfold and they couldn't just not do anything about it. They wanted the Nijisanji VTuber, their friend, to get their justice. This is why they reached out to FalseEyeD. Here we can see a conversation with one of the VTuber's friends and FalseEyeD. This was FalseEyeD's first contact with this group of people. They agreed on a time to call and then went ahead and did it. During the call, the VTuber's friend showed him all the screenshots of the past logs we just saw, of them talking about Aster and the harassment they had to endure for a very long time. The call lasted 1 hour. On November 11th, the Nijisanji English VTuber who was harassed by Aster had reached out to FalseEyeD and added them on Discord, saying, "Hey, thanks for accepting my request. Blank told me he sent you some things and I was wondering if you'd be able to have a call with me." This is referring to the friend of the VTuber that FalseEyeD had called for an hour. And
I'm not surprised that they have the thing of like, okay, they're gonna just ignore the issue or they're gonna fire me because, like, to the company, the ones causing the issue is the one trying to blow it up and cause bad PR when they already have bad PR. I don't agree with this. I do want to say that, like, I don't agree that that's how you should handle that situation. But that's the company it's just easier to get rid of the person that is complaining, because, like, if you get rid of that person and then they make all these allegations, please. Okay. Then they make all these allegations and you could be like, well, they got fired and that's why they're making these allegations. Like, kind of, I guess. I don't know. You're really trying to just put pressure to be like, keep your mouth shut is kind of how it also feels. So again, black company allegations. Cause like that's ridiculous. Like, bruh. Like, just that's so ridiculous. Oh my God. This is rough. This sucks. I understand the amount of stress some of these girly pops are under. Like, cause this would stress me out too. Like, I would be very stressed.
FalseEyeD replied with, "Sure, not a problem. What time works for you?" This was when the VTuber would reveal to FalseEyeD that Aster had done this not to just them, but to their friends, to multiple people. The VTuber initially thought that maybe he was just bad at communicating, but seeing the fact that he was doing it to so many people at the same time made them understand, okay, no, this guy's actually a creep. And he would vary his creepiness level from person to person. With some people, he would tell them, oh man, you should really come to Japan, we could hold hands, sit in the same hotel room, have a great time. And to some others, he would be more inappropriate, mentioning things like how they should be naked together. Additionally, this VTuber had felt really guilty because they had brought one of their IRL friends from outside of Nijisanji to come and play games with them, plus some other friends, and Aster. After a certain period of time, that friend would then also receive inappropriate messages from Aster. The guy was an unapologetic fiend.
If you want to role play, let's say role play, sext, whatever. There's spaces you can do that. That's not like harassment. Like there are places that you can do that kind of stuff. And like specifically like anonymously. But like I mean, I know it's the power imbalance thing. I know it's because he's famous. Oh,
The VTuber also had shared DMs with Aster. They had streamed League of Legends together, and Aster really didn't like the banter that the VTuber had towards his jungling skills. The reason why this is significant is that due to the style of writing of this message, we can draw a parallel to the style of writing in these messages between Aster and Scarlet. This is simply how he talked. The pieces of the puzzle were starting to slowly come together at this point. Aster was manipulative, and he had many different victims to practice his manipulation tactics on. The information
okay, nope, I need to go back to this. Hold on, I gotta go back. Okay, I'll be honest. That wasn't just misunderstanding. That was taking what I said and turning it up to 100 and digging at me the entire match. I already knew you'd do something like that if I juggled, but not to that level. Jungled, sorry. But not to that level. It genuinely felt like you were being purposefully toxic at me for not doing what you wanted in the game, almost as if I was dealing with a random solo queue player. Making a joke about the jungling thing once or twice is fine. It's a joke after all, but the entire time and to the point of even yelling at me and arguing with me. Oh man. He might be a professional victim. Okay. This is taking a step too far, and I was really trying to hold in my anger. I even told you straight up in a serious tone in front of everyone that I do not want to be verbally abused again, so stop it. When I tried to keep giving hints for you to tone it down, you kept going. Yeah, sometimes you just got to snap at somebody. Like, I'm going to be honest. Like, sometimes you got to be like, hey, knock it off. Like, that shit is extremely unacceptable and actually makes me want to avoid even doing anything with you, if I'm being honest. To be fair, sometimes you got to snap at somebody, but sometimes you're in a position where you feel like you can't snap at somebody. Anyway, I will not stand to be verbally abused like that on stream ever again. It's weird because you never acted like that to me off stream, but the moment it's on stream, it's a switch that's flipped. I don't mind teasing / banter, but that level is unnecessary. I do enjoy hanging out with you in gaming, but I do not want to be verbally abused by whom I consider a friend. Can something improve here, or is this going to be a continued issue? Okay. Dude is so... The amount of times VTuber drama is about someone who is horrendously manipulative is crazy to me. Like, dang. So, like... My dude, it's almost like we have personas. It's almost like you guys have personas as soon as you go live. Because when I say that, you aren't being a snappy little bitch when you're actively streaming and live, right? Because you want your fans or the people that you're trying to to be your fans to have a vision of you in their mind, right? Like a picture of you in their mind, not just visually, but like how your personality is. Yeah. We've gone over I've mentioned this in other videos, right? Who you are when you're at work is maybe not who you are when you're at home or with your friends, right? That's normal. That is 100% normal. This person, the whole like, you never acted like that to me off stream. Yeah, they act differently on stream because they're streaming, and that's their streaming personality. There's a lot of times where like people have like a quote unquote bit, right? Or a persona when they stream. That's not just their person, like who they are as a person, whatever, or who they are with their friends. Like they have like, I'm going to be like this. I'm this character and I'm playing a character. Like plenty of VTubers have that, right? So I'm just kind of like, bro, you felt like, one, this person might have been annoyed at you because maybe they felt like you weren't helping the team, because it is like if it's League, it's like a 5-person team versus a 5-person team, right? So, they might have been annoyed because they felt like you weren't helping out the team. And so they're making digs at you because they're annoyed at you or whatever. They also might have taken a joke too far. Who knows? I don't know. I certainly didn't watch it. So who knows? But like, this is just them being a victim, professionally victimizing themselves, and then demanding change. Like, they're not even being like, hey, man, that wasn't cool. This is how I felt. Why did you treat me like that? They are just like, you abused me. You just abused me. The whole time you abused me, and you have to change. You're not even opening up a dialogue. You're just making statements. Like, this is...
style of writing of this message, we can draw a parallel to the style of writing in these messages between Aster and Scarlet. This is simply how he talked. The pieces of the puzzle were starting to slowly come together at this point. Aster was manipulative, and he had many different victims to practice his manipulation tactics on. The information provided was already enough to shock the VTubing community to its core. But as you might have guessed, things only got worse from here and escalated further. Aster had debuted alongside 2 other male VTubers in the iLuna wave. One of those VTubers was Kyo. The thing with Kyo was that he had graduated around the time the Selen controversy was going on. He was done with the company and left in February of 2024 after his final stream. In March, he went independent and became Quinn Bennett, and has been streaming ever since. However, shortly after debuting at Nijisanji, he had created a podcast series.
Such a visual change between those models, those designs.
With Aster and another VTuber by the name of Ren. The series was short-lived, ending after 2 episodes. But people didn't really think much of it, assuming they were just busy, and moved on. However, that all changed recently. Because very shortly after FalseEyeD's video, Quinn tweeted this, saying, "All I'm saying is there's a reason the podcast only lasted 2 episodes."
Because we got exhausted about one dude having to be the professional victim and like bitching every time the podcast ended about how he wasn't the spotlight star or some shit. Like, is that what's about to happen? Because like, oh my God, please.
To many, this was a subtweet directed towards Aster. He was blaming Aster for the fact that the podcast ended so quickly. As you can imagine, this was a lot of fuel added to the fire. Quinn then proceeded to add even more fuel by deleting the tweet, making people want to talk about it even more, thinking that he may have gotten in trouble with Nijisanji over this tweet. But then he made another tweet saying this, "Never mind, I feel it's irresponsible to be vague given the circumstances, and to be honest, I want to stay in my own lane. Even if I personally...
Listen, I want a vague post, and then I want to pretend like I'm not throwing gasoline on this fire. Thank you. Oh my God.
Dislike someone that doesn't give or remove credibility from a third-party story. My opinion wasn't meant to validate or validate someone else's experience, which is why I deleted the post. Hope that clears everything up. But by then, the damage was already done. Quinn knew he could just move on from it, so he tweeted out, clearing things up, linking a Twitch stream. The stream was around 27 minutes long, and it was him talking about the situation at length. What he had to say did not in any way make Aster look good. Watch.
I was hoping they were like, what he had to say in no way cleared anything up. I was going to lose it if that's what it's going to say.
To hide this aspect of the puzzle piece. I really don't want to talk about this because if I don't talk about it, I'm seen as protecting a predator. If I do, I'm seen as being messy. So to be honest, I'm going to be as vague as possible. But another reason I didn't like this person is because there were some stories going around and some things I saw where they behaved weird towards women. Okay. Nothing criminal, nothing to the extent of what has recently come out, but I didn't like how they seemed kind of like they would like nag certain women about certain things or kind of put them in positions to feel guilty, or pounce on like newer members that were in.
Are they, I don't know, fake and manipulative? No. Sorry.
The company.
I don't even know any of these people. I'm so sorry. I just love third-party drama that has nothing to do with me and doesn't affect me at all. But like, I'm like, I don't know any of these people. I didn't watch any of these people. I'm just like, I'm so sorry.
And that didn't know about this behavior. Like they were not the most healthy when they interacted with women. And I'm going to be honest about that. I'm not going to cover it up.
This was interesting because the wording he was using here, guilt tripping, for example, was the exact same wording that was used by Raziel when she spoke about Aster. This was lining up, but Quinn didn't end it here, obviously. He had way more to say.
Are the interactions between women allegations? I witnessed some of them myself. Okay, I witnessed some of them myself. Some of them happened to some of my friends. But I'm not going to say who, and I'm not going to say what. I'm just saying I didn't like it. I didn't like it, so I didn't like this person, okay? Now, this is bringing me back to my original point. Should you guys even know any of this shit from me? Should I be the one telling you this? Fuck no, okay?
Well, there you have it. Quinn had seen this behavior happen to some of his female friends. But again, this was not everything he had to say. It got worse.
Since everyone is making me feel guilty for maybe covering up abuse or whatever, I will say in my personal, very biased opinion, okay? Take this with like 800 milligrams of sodium, enough for you to like die from sodium overdose.
Is that enough? How much sodium do you need to ingest to overdose? So one Joe's or snack worth.
This, unfortunately, based off of what I have seen, does not seem like something that is completely out of character of behavior for this person to potentially do. Like, I could see a universe where this happens. Okay, is my point. It's not.
Go back. Sorry, I was sidetracked by the sodium thing.
Behavior for this person to potentially do. Like, I could see a universe where this happens. Okay, is my point. It's not like I would never ever see this happening. That's not how I feel. Okay, I'm gonna be honest with you. All right.
Now, it's really interesting seeing this chat, right? Because obviously he still has a lot of viewers that came from Nijisanji, and many of them are not happy about the fact that he's speaking out about this. Quinn, actually don't say that. Bro, you're saying too much. Question mark. Dude, just stop. Seriously. We have this massive allegation going on. He has a perspective that we're lacking right now. Someone who has worked with him directly.
I can neither confirm nor deny, but I am definitely not denying. That's pretty good. That's honestly pretty funny. Lethal dose of sodium is like 25 grams. What did he say? I something mgs, right? So milligrams. Yon, I think 9. Thank you for the follow. Welcome. At 800 milligrams. Yeah, so that's like 8 grams. 8,800 milligrams. So that'd be 88 grams. Is that wrong? I don't know. Either way. They're unalivograms. All right. Anyway, moving on. I mean, yeah, I guess it would be a situation where it's like, dude, you might not want to say all this, especially because your fan base came over from Nijisanji with you, right? But, and you can assume that maybe the fan base was also fans of the other dude.
Directly, who's seen him interact with his friends in a weird, creepy way.
Listen, the second I don't have to do math anymore, it leaves my brain, okay? So, like, I'm like, I don't... What? I used to have to do, like, math related to medication, and I don't remember... I don't have to do it anymore, so I don't remember it.
And they're asking him to shut up. It's crazy. His last statement here is actually massive. You see, if I knew someone and they were being accused of something, and I knew for a fact, nah, they're a good person, they would never do that, I would back them up and I'd say, listen, as far as I know, they had never done this around me, and I just don't see them doing it.
But he claims that he saw the dude acting weird to women. Like, he witnessed it himself. He said that he witnessed it himself.
But Quinn had a completely different thing to say, saying, listen, guys, I just don't see it as impossible. Like, this kind of aligns with the person I knew. And at this point, with every single instance involving Aster over the last year.
Okay, some of the wording that he is choosing, the phrasing that he's choosing is like, I'm not saying he 100% did. I'm saying I wouldn't be surprised if he did. Which is an opinion, and he shouldn't be able to get sued for it. I don't actually know, like, the law about that, but, like, that's kind of, like, the line he's dancing on, right? Like, I'm not saying 100% yes, but, like, I'm saying I wouldn't be surprised.
Nijisanji can't keep shielding him anymore. We need accountability. One thing that no one was expecting, including myself, is the fact that Nijisanji...
Yo, okay, I saw this post. I was like, I don't know what this is about. And then I got sent this video. It's so funny.
Sanji put out a statement fairly quickly about this, saying, thank you for your continued support of Nijisanji and Nijisanji EN. Regarding the recent controversy, AnyColor has determined the following course of action. We have initiated an independent third-party investigation into these issues and will share the outcome with our livers and our community. This investigation will focus on the issues of sexual harassment and unauthorized information leakage to outside parties and will include a thorough review of company policies and their implementation. Based on the outcome of this investigation,
how many times have they had to do something like that where it's like, oh, we're going to look at company policies and how we implement them? How many times has Nijisanji had to say something about that? Because I feel like I've heard that before.
Appropriate disciplinary actions will be taken and updated policies will be shared with our livers and our community. AnyColor is committed to a safe and community-focused environment free from any type of inappropriate behavior. For all inquiries related to this matter, please contact AnyColor Inc.
And before they find themselves not guilty. It's like the Blizzard approach all over again. Like, oh, we did an investigation and nothing bad happened. We have decided nothing bad has happened. Just, oh, see, Kumo too. Oh, good. Blizzard's investigating themselves and finding no wrongdoing. I mean, Nijisanji is investigating themselves.
Now, typically when a corporation says a third-party investigation will take place, it doesn't really mean much. If you guys remember, that's what Mr. Beast did with his own company and found himself not guilty. Great. And what worries me here is that not only will they focus on issues of sexual harassment, but they'll also focus on unauthorized information leakage to outside parties.
Yeah, they're gonna worry less about the sexual harassment, and they are absolutely gonna use this to find who's leaking this bad PR for them. This is what they want to know. The unauthorized information leakage. That's what they care about. They don't care about they said the first one first because that's what people are upset about. But the fact that they mentioned unauthorized information leakage, that is what they care about.
Which tells me they're probably going to focus on the VTuber who leaked this information rather than Aster Arcadia.
Yeah.
We'll see what happens, I guess, but I'm not very optimistic. I can guarantee you, though, that behind the scenes right now, it is an absolute mess at Nijisanji. After FalseEyeD's video had released, Aster immediately set his chat on his channel to subscribers only mode. You need to have been subscribed for at least 24 hours before you can even send messages. He then posted this in his stream chat saying, "I will have to postpone the cooking stream, sorry, missing some stuff and setup is complicated, thanks for your understanding. It's currently been delayed by around a week." So he's very well aware of it. Nijisanji has told us that they are aware of this too now. What happens remains to be seen, but there's clear favoritism in Nijisanji. We know this by now, so I'm not.
Why are you running? Why are you running?
Not very optimistic, but hey, I just hope that the people he harassed can get their peace. If something else happens, I will keep you updated though. Thank you so much for watching till the end. I really appreciate it. See you in the next video. Mwah.
Okay, so thoughts on flying to Japan. Like, that seems so just... Why does this keep happening, really? It's kind of like my vibes. Are y'all not tired? Like, if nothing else, like, it's like, hey, let's do this thing that other people have been caught doing. And, like, it ruined their careers or it hurt their careers or, like, whatever. Let me do it. Obviously, nothing bad's gonna happen to me. I'm gonna give y'all some advice. You should... If you put something in writing on the internet, if you put something in writing to another person, virtually, DMs, chats, whatever, you should just assume that shit's gonna get leaked. That everyone is going to see it. I don't care what it is. You put something on the internet, everyone is eventually going to see what you put on the internet. Like, that you should just expect that at this point, okay? Like, especially if you're famous or trying to be famous. Like, I just want to give you that information. I just take that, use that information as you will. Don't be shitheads. Don't be terrible people, okay? Oh my God.